Jamie's on track. I know that's a question everybody has. He was much better today, and he's back in line with his normal work week with Micah. So there you go. Thought that was the best I've ever seen Mendes. Life of the fastball. And when you see a guy out there that looks like he's in such control of things and can go get a little bit more velocity, a little more stuff when he feels like he needs it, I felt like that was a factor today, especially with the fastball. Changeup, good, used a lot, and it's got such unique properties. It's almost like a screwball, and he had that going today. I thought his slider was good. Curveball was okay. Tough to run on him, athletic, total control of the game. I think he punched out the side in the second. He may have done it more than once. I just kind of felt like in that second inning when he did it, it really was exceptional. Farrow, really nice day at the plate. Miles Bailey, nice day at the plate. Up and down the lineup. Carnes, you see that. I didn't think that ball had a chance to go out when he hit it. That's the gift of the strength and just the barrel control he has when he's on it. Fisher, the ball the other way. I thought the two defensive plays Max made in center field were really top notch, and the ball gauge ran down. When that ball's hit, kind of like the ball in the first inning yesterday, you just don't think that ball's going to be caught. And for him to close on that ball into the corner and catch it in the corner and maintain his balance and his poise in that little part of the stadium, pretty special. And he had some good at-bats too. Other than the seventh inning, I thought that was one of our better games. But the seventh inning is part of the game. They do include that, and it was horrid. There's more in the tank for the guys that threw there. We know Ben, the stuff, everybody sees it. We just have to somehow condense that where he feels like at times he's throwing and not pitching. And that doesn't mean we're trying to baby it or aim, but it's got to be a little bit more contained. And Holtzy will get there. He's going to factor in. We wouldn't have had the season we had last year without him. And I just feel for him not rolling out there and feeling 100% about what he's doing. I thought Prescott was fine. I thought Kinnear was okay. And I thought Lout threw some of the better secondary pitches he's seen. Micah has been working so hard on trying to figure out what secondary pitches actually work. And we talked about it today. We've tried essentially everything. And those curveballs today were good. And with his fastball profile, how it climbs, that's a good pitch to complement the fastball. And his changeup was nice. So pleased with it. The seventh inning just leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. But that's a solid team. And when you give them opportunities, like you can see that score. It was on a different day where it's 11-9. That ball goes out in the right center if the wind is pushing that way. And we were fortunate it wasn't. That's a solid team. I thought they ran a variety of arms out there. And, another good win.
Last week you mentioned Wes didn't really have the changeup, but that's not something that's normal for him. Was it just getting back to normal, or did him and Micah work on something throughout the week to get it back there?
They get those sessions based on when they are starting, and they get to do some work. And there's always something in play, and that was one of the many things you touch on. When you have guys, I think Bellini is in the same boat, that have 4 pitches, there may be moments when you don't have all 4. And his are all above average. So if you have 3 of the 4, sometimes that's enough to get you through it. And maybe as you go, you find the 4th and you put something else down in the course. I think he threw 90 pitches. So Micah does a great job of feeling it out. And you hope when you go to play the video game that all the buttons on the little Nintendo pad are available. But sometimes they're not. And these 2 starters, there's 4 buttons. I thought both guys commanded the fastball well. I think Mendes today may be a little better command of it than Bellini. Bellini got the breaking ball going where Wes had the changeup cooking. And then when you complement the other 2 in there and sprinkle those, it's really tough. And then the caliber of the stuff makes it that much more difficult to square up or recognize. And that's how you see him go through that outing the way he did.
Moving Drew and Hunter down, is that maybe just taking pressure off of them that comes up maybe at the end of the lineup? How nice was it seeing them respond to that? And I guess on the other side, Miles coming up in the lineup and having the day he did with 4 hits.
Yeah, Ty and Brad, we talked through this starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, okay, who's DH, catch. I mean, we kind of have to sort that out when you have a catcher that's also DH, and you've got to solidify that. And then you just try to feel out what might be the right thing to do. And that was their strong suggestion. And I tell them, guys, like, sell me on what you're thinking. And sometimes I have a really good plan of attack, and sometimes I lean on those two guys. They work so closely with the hitters and manage it, and sometimes they detect things that they want to try. And that was a great maneuver. And I thought everybody in the lineup for the most part, poor Max might not have had much to show for his day other than the defense, but pretty good up and down the lineup. So good move by Ty and Brad and those suggestions, and we plugged it right in there. It was nice to see the responses.
You mentioned the outfield defense. Is that kind of what you mean when you talk about having 3 center fielders playing in the outfield?
You got it. Like, you just gobble up outs, and some of those are extra base hit type outs, and you're seeing it. Like, it's all over the place. And DeLamalure is a center fielder. He could play center field, and Chase could do it, and Bladen Plain would be the one that nobody in here has really seen yet. And he's more your corner guy. But when you run that group out there, think about the outs and the game-changing moments the outfield defense has had. The infield defense today, it's funny how there's days we talk about infield defense. Today, McCulley fielded the one chopper and probably should have just tried to turn it. I think Lodi's had a ball in the first inning of the game. This was decided by outfield defense and the guys on the mound. And there are days there may be stuff happening in the infield that requires them to be on point, like hitter after hitter. Today it was decided with the outfield stuff on the mound, and there wasn't a lot going on in the infield. But when you have athletes out there that have center field traits, it changes things in every spot in the field and in every part of the game, and for your pitching staff. It just shrinks the game and the pitch count. It's a real plus.
Nothing against, I guess, the teams you've faced so far, but how all 3 of your starters have looked through the first 4 weeks, I guess, how excited are you to see them maybe ramp up next week, start with ACC play?
Yeah, it's going to be challenging, and these are quality teams that have been in here. I think looking at how our guys pitched against our own team, I still include what I see there into the equation on top of what I see in the actual season. So every one of the guys, Jamie has things he needs to do better. Valini has things he needs to do better, and so does Wes. But you feel like it gives you a chance to go out and have a competitive shot to win games. The bullpen guys, we need to be more consistent. And each one of the guys that we have seen have been really dynamic, and then each one of the guys have had moments where you scratch your head a little bit as to why it's not a little bit more crisp and consistent. Every one of them. So that's a concern. And the starting pitchers, if you brought every guy in here, they could tell you the things they need to work on. And I think that's sometimes as important as maybe the result, so that when they do their side work and they go down there, and whether it's bullpen, flat ground, they know exactly what they need to work on. They're not hanging their hat on whether it went really well or whether it didn't go well. They know their craft, and they know there's things they need to push for.
How does that, for the starting pitchers, how does that kind of schedule change with like that extra day that they have?
Well, I mean, an extra day's nice. If you start pulling guys forward, then you got to make sure you stay ahead of when they throw their bullpen. So an extra day is helpful. Like if you're pulling guys back, like these Thursday games, quite frankly, become tricky because you're trying to back their bullpen sessions up, and if they had a heavy workload pitch count wise in their start, and then you're trying to slide the bullpen up to slide the start up, it becomes dicey. The extra day is almost a luxury. That's okay.
All good.